Y'all in here tonight? Y'all in here tonight? Come on, I need to hear y'all tonight. Y'all in here? Wow. You all look phenomenal. What a tremendous night. How many are glad to be here tonight? Listen, we want to thank, I'm gonna wait till y'all finish. I'm gonna go get it. Listen, I want to thank the people who helped put this together, everybody who was part of this event team, because this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. This is an awesome night, and we are grateful. I want to thank our host, Brother George 2.0, who's been doing us tonight. And I want to thank my sister who set it on fire. I was back there listening to her, Reverend Q English. To my family, my mother's here, my stepfather, my cousin, my brother. I want to thank that tremendous introduction by my lovely, gorgeous wife, Reverend Doctor. She told all our business. We had to tell it all. We thank God. I want to thank God and for all of you. So give yourselves a hand. Just give yourselves a hand. I'm grateful. I am grateful. I feel tonight that I am truly one of the most blessed people in the world tonight. One, not only to be standing here before you, but with all of you who've been supporting from the beginning, from the time we talked about it when it was just an idea. We are thankful. And we are truly thankful, all of us who worked in this campaign. And I believe not only all of us who worked on the campaign, but I believe I have the best campaign manager in the world. Sister Lenara Davidson. Come on, let's give her a hand. She's over here doing the low profile thing. But let me start by saying this. Tonight, I want to make it official. And I am a candidate to represent New York's 13th Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives. Come on, somebody got to be excited. This has been a long time coming. A long time coming. This morning I was driving to a meeting, and I did something that was laid upon my heart. I called someone whose influence in my life has been tremendous. About 29 years ago, I was in a program called Operation Alternative. That program was designed to be for at-risk youth, to set them on the right track. And I had a mentor in this program. I called him this morning. His name is Reverend Gregory Groover. I called him this morning. I hadn't spoken to him in a while. And when I called him, I said, Greg, I just want to tell you thank you. Thank you because 29 years ago, you saw something in me that I did not see in myself. When I did not think college was a possibility, when I did not think that there was much that could amount to me, when I was content believing that I would just be one of those guys hanging on the corner, hanging in the park, he saw something. He pushed me. He told me how great I could be. He told me what he saw in me. He said, do not water down your gifts. Do not be ashamed of what is inside of you, because what is inside of you, he told me 29 years ago, he said, it will change the world. If you let it, it will change the world. And so I called him this morning to say thank you. But I did that because I realized I stand here tonight because someone believed in me. Someone believed in who I could be. Someone believed in what I could do. Somebody believed in the potential and the power that was inside of me. Somebody believed. And tragically, when you look across the landscape of our country today, and especially in our body politic, we have a lot of people who appear to stop believing in people. We have leaders who stop believing in people. We have elected officials who stop believing in people, and it is evident because too many elected officials put politics over people and campaigns over community. They've forgotten that we are called to be public servants. 1941, Winston Churchill, when he was addressing the joint houses of Congress, said, the key to democracy is learning the art of trusting people. That you cannot be a public servant. You cannot serve the state or the public if you do not believe in people and trust people. And unfortunately, we now are in the midst of a political process that does not believe in people, does not trust people. Why? Because they do not take the time to empower people to learn how to connect to the process that will enable their own transformation and empowerment. We are part of the 13th Congressional District, 717,000 strong. And yet in 2012 congressional primary, only 43,000 people voted. 6% of the residents of this district voted. And now you can say it is apathy, but apathy is not an originating emotion. It comes from somewhere. It is birthed from somewhere. And I am convinced that it is birthed by those who have participated in the systematic disempowerment of people. Because as long as the voter pool stays small, the same people get elected year after year after year. And so the key to bringing about change in this district and in this country is by engaging and activating our capacity to vote. You do not talk about how change is needed. You do not talk about what has to be done. Because I've been to too many forums where we have engaged in public venting. But I learned this, words from Gandhi that I etched in my memory and in my spirit, that there comes a point in your life where you must be the change you want to see. You do not simply talk about change, you must embody change. You must be the embodiment of infinite possibilities and believe that anything is possible if you put your heart, your mind, your soul. We have to be the change. Now is that time. We cannot sit on the sidelines and talk about what has to be done. We have to make it so. Now is the time. We cannot sit and complain anymore and talk about who did what and who isn't doing what. We must begin to do it. We must embrace. We must engage. We must put our hands to the work and not look back, because we have to be the change that we want to see. There's a poem that has shaped so much of what I've learned to do in my own life. It was a poem penned by June Jordan. She presented it in 1978 to the United Nations. It was commemorating a civil disobedient act. Her poem was called A Poem for the Women of South Africa. Again, she presented this on August 9th, 1978 to the United Nations in commemoration of a protest, August 9th, 1956. It was a protest in which 40,000 South African women and children presented their bodies as sacrifice, protesting what was called this dumpas, the moment where they would take ID so people could move. You could not navigate without this pass, this ID. And they were protesting it because they believed that as human beings, they were more than just an ID card. They were more than just a piece of paper. 40,000 women and children protested on that hot day, August 9th, 1956. And June Jordan wrote a poem in commemoration of that. The poem still resonates in my spirit to this day. But the part of the poem that resonates the most is the very last lines. She was speaking about women and children who were willing to put their life on the line because of what they believed, and that was freedom. Yes. She was speaking about women and children who were not concerned about what would happen because they believed that fighting for freedom, struggling for justice meant more than one's life. She was speaking about women and children who understood that the only way to impact change if you are oppressed is that the oppressed must impact change. Yes. Because you do not wait for those in power to give you power. And so she wrote this poem in commemoration, and the last line of the poem said, "We are the ones we have been waiting for." We are no longer in the age where we can wait for political messiahs. I am not running because I want you to view me as another political messiah upon whom you heap your greatest aspirations and dreams upon me. No, those days are done. But what I will say, I'm running because of what we will do, not because of what I will do. Because I know there was a time when we would talk about Dr. King and Fannie Lou Hamer and Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass and Barack Obama. But what about you? What is your name? Say your name out tonight, because you have the greatest opportunity to impact change you could ever imagine. And then you remind yourself that I am the one I've been waiting for. No longer waiting for anybody to do for me what I can do for myself. You have to tell yourself, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Now let me just say this, and I won't be long because we're going to party a little bit. There are many who believe from the outset, Lenara has heard it and I have heard it. There are many who say, there's no way you can win. The numbers don't add up. That you don't have enough name recognition. That enough people don't know you. That you are new to the process. You've never run before. And because you've never run before, how do you expect to win? And I said this. Well, everything that was said inspires me. Because I'm not running because I'm an insider. I'm running because I'm on the outside. And in fact, we've had too much inside leadership for a long time. And people are still suffering. People are still struggling. But I tell people the reason why I'm running, beyond the policy issues, beyond the issues that shape this district, beyond the concerns and the struggles of those who are in this district, because I got to let you know, there are people who believe that this district is fine because you see buildings going up and businesses, but there's an undercurrent of despair. There are people who are having a hard time paying rent. There are people being priced out of their homes. There are people who cannot find jobs. There are schools that do not give equitable access to educational resources. We know the issues that really plague this community. But the reason why I'm running is not just to address that. It's because I am part of a community of visionaries and dreamers. At the end of the day, I have to dream. I have to believe that when people say you can't do it, that is the best reason to do it. I have to believe that when people say you will not win, that is all the energy we need to push forward to victory. When people say you should not do it, that means they're speaking out of fear, and that means at the end of the day, I'm a problem. And so I understand what this all means today. So that doesn't bother me, because dreamers don't run away at the first sign of opposition. Dreamers don't throw their hands up in the air, sigh and surrender and throw in the towel. No, dreamers stand firm until the last vote, until the last voter, until the last move is made, and we will hold our ground because we are visionaries and dreamers. Yeah. They may not believe it, but I do know this. Come June 25th, which is the day after the primary, history will be made in this district. On June 25th, all the pundits and all the critics and all the naysayers will sit around and wonder what happened. They'll be trying to figure out, how did this happen? And then I'll tell them, let me tell you how it happened. Because we had the audacity to believe in people again. We have the audacity to trust people again. And when we put our minds to it, let me tell you something I learned. Every fight we get in, we win. The only time we don't win is when we don't fight. And I got to let everybody know, if the president's here tonight, we in for a fight, and we ain't going nowhere. So now is the time. For those who are tired of politics as usual in this community, now is the time. For those who are tired of elected officials who dismiss the needs of the masses, now is the time. For those who are weary of being overlooked, marginalized, and relegated to being part of the underserved, now is the time. For those who are tired of being told that their voice doesn't matter, now is the time. For those who are fearful because they know this, they will talk about the money that will be raised against us. They will talk about how much money will go against us. But here's what I learned many years ago as a community organizer. Organized people always beat organized money. So they can flood the streets with money. We're going to flood the streets with people, because people are this democracy. We, the people, will change this. Now is the time. You got to believe that today. Now is the time. And we will make history. This will be a new day. And we will look back over this night and say that tonight was the beginning of history being made in this 13th district. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. God bless y'all. Good night. Have an awesome night. Oh, y'all hear that music? Listen, while the music is going, let me say this. You have to register. I love that music. You got to register and vote. Commit to voting. Commit to registering your family. Commit to getting people out to the polls. June 24th is the date. We're going to shut it down. We're going to take it all the way to victory. And we are going to do this. Why? Because now is the time. God bless. Come on, y'all gotta give it up for Reverend Lakeisha. I want to bring my family up here. Come on, Mom. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Don't leave yet. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to come out and we're going to holler. Amen?